government should, take out the initiative to begin to do the right things. These monies are there and they know. It's just that they are shielding those people who has these monies because they are part of their team, they are part of their cronies. Most of these things are monies they also use to fund the elections and what have you. So if we have 69 billion and you are busy taxing people back home who are jobless, when you have money lying fallow. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Andy Media TV welcoming you once again on Trending Stories. Just yesterday, the 10th of January 2025, the news broke out that the United States government, together with the Nigerian government, signed an agreement for the repatriation of $52.88 million that was linked to the former Minister of Petroleum, Mrs. Diezani Madueke. If you recall, she was the former Minister of Petroleum Resources under the Goodluck Jonathan-led administration of the PDP. In 2015, towards the end of Jonathan's administration, when he lost the election to former President Muhammadu Buhari, Diezani Alison Madueke fled the country and went to the United Kingdom, where she is residing today. The Buhari-led administration was, trying to prosecute corruption at the entrance of his administration. And all effort to bring her back home, to face, corruption charges proved abortive. And based on that fact, yesterday, this agreement was signed between the United States government and Nigerian government there in Abuja. The United States government was represented by the ambassador of the United States to Nigeria. And during the signing of this agreement, there was a disclosure on how these funds will be utilized when repatriated to the Nigerian government. The way the money was structured to be utilized are as follows. $50 million will be utilized for rural electrification project. So the idea is to use the money to improve power supply in rural communities. If you recall, Nigeria has Rural Electrification Agency, which is responsible for doing this. But in this time, this $50 million will be expended through the World Bank assisted project to be able to deliver the expected result. You can understand that this money belongs to Nigerian government, but as it stands, the United States government is now kind of mandating the Nigerian government on how this money will be expended. That is the problem of corruption. When you steal what belongs to you and keep in another man's country, if you want to take it back, they're going to give you conditions, telling you this is where we want you to spend the money, or otherwise you're not going to get the money. So Nigerian government, their hands are tied, so they're going to play according to the rules. The $2.88 million that's remaining will be disbursed by the Nigerian government as a grant to International Institute of Justice, IIJ. Why are they disbursing this money as grant to them? The reason is simple. Their intention was to strengthen criminal justice and counterterrorism through capacity building programs. If you ask me, these two key things that we are taking, are they really the core problem of Nigeria as we speak? Well, I think every Nigerian now, what they need first now is food, how to eat. That is because there is poverty and hunger. So that is number one priority of most Nigerians. All right. Then insecurity. Yeah, counterterrorism, but it's capacity building for the matter that goes to court. So how many Boko Haram suspects have been taken to court? That is the question. None. What they tag them is what? Repentant Boko Haram, and they are let go. After sewing their uniform and flying them in the aircraft, they let them go. So they don't even go to court. There's no prosecution. I don't know how many of them have been prosecuted and jailed. I don't know. No record of that. The US government is now determining for us our priorities as it is. Well, that's fine. That's the agreement they reached. And we do hope that the funds, get back to Nigeria as promised. We have had series of, looted funds that was repatriated. I think Abacha's name rings a bell, which we are now tagging it as Abacha's loot. All right, so those funds have been coming in and coming in and coming in, and government has tied some of them to projects like the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway project, which is still not yet fully completed. But I think the second Niger bridge got some, portion of it, and that one, was, completed. Yeah, that's kudos to government, for finishing that with part of those, looted fund resources. I'm gonna play you, the video when the agreement was, signed, and so that you can hear some of the things, that was said both by, the U.S. ambassador and the Nigeria's Attorney General of the Federation, who represented Nigeria in this regard. So let's play this video so that we'll follow up on that, and then I said one or two things we need to chip in into what just transpired. Let's look at the video and we'll be right back.
Let's take you to Abuja, where Nigeria has $52.88 million to fund the rural electrification project and to support its counter-terrorism project. The funds were recovered from the United States as proceeds of forfeited assets linked to former Minister of Petroleum Resources Diezani Alison Madueke and her associates. Celestine Area has more.
According to the agreement, the repatriated funds will be utilized through the World Bank to partly fund the rural electrification project to increase the reliability and availability of renewable energy in Nigeria. The balance of $2.88 million will be disbursed as a grant by the Nigerian government to the International Institute for Justice to support the rule of law and counter-terrorism project through the counter-terrorism capacity building for criminal justice sector practitioners in East, West and North Africa.
The asset return agreement being executed today also ensures that the return assets are applied directly to developmental projects. As agreed, the $50 million of the repatriated funds will be utilized through the World Bank to partly fund the rural electrification project to increase the reliability and availability of renewable energy in Nigeria. While the balance of $2.88 will be disbursed as a grant by Nigeria to the International Institute for Justice (IIJ) to support the rule of law and counter-terrorism projects through counter-terrorism capacity building for criminal justice sector practitioners in the East, West, and North Africa.
Measures have been put in place to ensure that the repatriated funds are not only disbursed but also utilized transparently and accountably by the World Bank and IIJ, with periodic reports to be forwarded to Nigeria and the US on the implementation of the project.
I'm also very pleased and have great confidence in the ability of the Minister and his team to effectively monitor and ensure that these funds are indeed used for the benefit of the Nigerian people. We would not be signing this agreement if we did not have confidence that this is exactly how the funds, these return funds, will be used. So again, this is a good day, I think, for our two governments, and a very good day for the people of Nigeria.
These project earmarks to be carried out will contribute in no small measure to creating the enabling environment for the socio-economic growth and development.
All right, welcome back. So you just had, the information there, how the money is going to be used, and the total sum of $52.88 million that will be repatriated back to Nigeria. And that's a good news, it's something great. At least Nigeria need any money they can see, they can lay hands on. So, but one thing I want to bring in here is that there's quite a whole lot of these monies lying fallow in different parts of the world. Switzerland, in the US, in Europe, in Panama, and just name them. So I'm going to bring in one former senior special assistant to the president on asset recovery has said in one of the podcasts he held. He said in that video that they got a tip or a whistleblower from United States in Texas tipped them off that Nigerian people has about $69 billion in account in Texas. And this money, out of this $69 billion, $60 billion is stolen crude oil resources that was stashed in that account, while the $9 billion belongs to an individual who was a former government official. All right. And then he said he made effort to reach out to the president to notify him that these are the things that they got intel on, and they need to, work faster to be able to pull the money back home. The money which I just mentioned is almost double of what Nigeria as a country has in its foreign reserve, but only just few section of people kept this money in that account. Stolen crude oil funds. But the guy mentioned how the former Attorney General of the Federation was stopping him from, doing his job, and how the guy was shielding most of these criminals, who lose government resources and stash them everywhere abroad. So, and I think it's part of the things that led to his suspension and then possible removal, as the case may be. The government should, take out the initiative to begin to do the right things. These monies are there, and they know. It's just that they are shielding those people who has these monies because they are part of their team, they are part of their cronies. Most of these things are monies they also use to fund the elections and what have you. So if we have 69 billion and you are busy taxing people back home who are jobless, when you have money lying fallow, and look at the dangers of keeping these monies abroad. One of the dangers is that those who kept this money, nobody else knows. Even their family members may not even be aware. So the moment anything happens to them and they dies, and those countries where the money are kept gets the information that this person is late, they're not going to repatriate it to you, except if you are aware and you begin to track the money. As far as you are not aware, they're going to buy the money. All right? They're going to use the money for their own personal development. That's the truth. Just like it happens even back home. You have money in your account and nobody knows you have that money. If they wait for 1 year, nobody come to claim, the estate. The money is wiped out. So it's similar thing everywhere. So why should we rob our people, dump the money abroad, the money that we don't even need? All right? So that's where you begin to appreciate those like the one that was building 753 duplexes in Abuja. He stole, he was investing it back home, stimulating the economy back home. But these people, they take it out. How did they move the money out of the country? It goes through financial system because nobody will move cash to the points of billions of dollars out of the country. It's not possible. All right. So they move this money to the financial system. So that is where central bank comes in to be able to tighten every loose ends to ensure that the financial system is watertight, that nobody can exploit the financial system. That's why here, when you go to developed countries, whatever you do, you are being tracked. Anything you are doing in your account, you are tracked. When you do anything suspicious in your account is flagged and investigated. That's what happens. You can't withdraw huge sums of money, cash, abroad. You can't. You only use your cards. So that anywhere you swipe it, they know where you swiped it, they know what you did, they know how much, they know every details. But when you start withdrawing huge sums of money in cash, nobody can trace it. That's why many people give bribery in cash, so that it cannot be traceable to them. So in Nigeria, I know somebody can just withdraw 200 million cash and put it in the boot or bullion van and then move. How do you track what he does with the 200 million? There's no way to track it. So there should be a certain threshold. Okay. So here, if you want to withdraw $20,000 cash, $50,000 cash, looking at your account history, they can call police for you because it's strange somebody needing that kind of cash. What for? They will figure it that you are trying to use the fund for something illegitimate. That's why you don't want to use your financial system to transfer the money so there can be traces. And don't forget that this guy that does this looting and transfer these monies abroad, they know how to use the system. They layer the money, pick it up, layer it, move it from one account to other. They can move that money in 100 different accounts. They can move this money in 25 different countries. That is the honest truth. So it makes it difficult for anti-corruption agencies to track and find them out. By the time you track up to 10 countries, you'll be tired and you have wasted resources. You just quit. So by the time you follow up to 25, 30 accounts, you'll be tired because you can't see the end and you are putting in time and resources to do that. So they know what they do. That's why they have offshore accounts in Panama, in Cayman Islands, in BVI, British Virgin Island, and the rest of them. Okay? So they do all these things to hide these illicit funds, put it in a trust, and began to administer it to their unborn children and their side chicks and what have you. So this is what they do. Monies they don't need, they take it, and the people that has this money are living in abject poverty. And that's why there is huge poverty in the land. So all this money they use it to fund the election and which one people they want to which one buy the system the way they want to buy it. You saw what happened in the last election. How many elections have you done in Nigeria that somebody can beat his chest and say it is free and fair? None. Despite all the billions that goes to INEC. So you see there's problem. So I think when you look back since EFCC was established, Nuhu Ribadu as the pioneer chairman, I know how it was after all former governors and all that. Where are those people today? Nobody is adding anything. How many top government officials have they convicted? How many? Can you pension? How many? The former accountant general of the Federation that stole 109 billion naira. What happened to him? He's not in jail as I speak. He's not. The last time I checked, I had about 30 billion naira was recovered from him. We had the over 70 billion. So these are problems. So when you encourage the plea bargain system over dealing and getting the culprit to serve his or her jail term so that it will form as a deterrent to others, then you are weakening the anti-corruption fight. Yes, you may say, oh, instead of spending 100 million to prosecute this case, let's just take this and end the matter there. You are encouraging others because what the signal you are sending out is still as much as you can. When we catch you, give us part of it, take the rest. Everybody will start doing that. Why won't I take mine? Why won't I take 10 billion? You catch me, I give you 3 billion or 5 billion and keep 5 billion. That's profit for me. So it's not really making that so much sense. It's on rare cases you do plea bargain, but on the main issue is to deal with the people doing this thing so that others will learn that if I do it, I will end up like this. Look at China. One was just it was sentenced to death. One of their officials that stole how much? Just a mess sum compared to what they steal in Nigeria. That is how to deal with corruption. You put a severe punishment that will deter people from even thinking about it. So Nigerian government, you need to review some of these your laws on anti-corruption and see how you put a stringent penalty for those caught doing that. And all this shielding of people, the Attorney General, the former Attorney General under Buhari's administration was accused of shielding people, that even what they recovered from those criminals were returned back to them. So making fool of the person that is doing the fight, putting his life at risk and that of his family. Because they say when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. Dr. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, she did hers when she refused to pay for fictitious subsidy claims. What happened? Her mother was kidnapped and she was threatened, if you don't pay, we kill your mother. And to God be the glory, she didn't pay. The federal government moved into action and her mother was recovered safe and sound. So these are the things you see. So when you see people fighting corruption, they are putting their life at risk, and that of their family, because those they are fighting are huge cabals who can do anything, who can kill, who can do anything to keep that wealth they have looted. So in the case of Diezani, the 52.88 million that was recovered, they say it was based on non-conviction for fission. So she didn't go to court, no trial, no proceeding, nothing. Their focus is to get hold of the resources, not to jail her or anything. So what's the point? Everybody will start looting. When they loot, they give you the part of the money back and they are free, enjoying the rest. So Nigerians should improve their criminal justice system. You need to put these people behind bars. Look at Yaya Bello. At some point now, the case in court where he was being tried for misappropriating over 80 billion naira of the state fund when he was governor. Before you know it, he will enter play bargain, he will give them 30 billion, the remaining 50 is gone. So where do we go from here? So which message are you sending? Again, when you look at those in government, even today, incumbent Senate president, he has a case with EFCC, I think about 7.2 billion naira when he was governor of his state in Uyo, in Akwa Ibom. So what happened? That case was going on when he was in PDP, but the moment he moved to APC, that was it. Nobody is hearing about that case till today. He doesn't have immunity. So what's the point? Why is he not being tried? Just like they are doing to Yaya Bello. All right? Now, the former governor of Abia State, Senator Juice Okalo, they tried him, sentenced him to prison, but a few weeks or days into prison, the court nullified the judgment and said that there was procedural error, in the trial, and that the case should be retried. That should be over a year, if not 2 years now, till date. The case is not yet in court. Nobody is retrying him. Nothing is happening. He's working freely. The former Attorney General under Buhari's administration was, accused of shielding these criminals and frustrating the, office of the senior special assistant to the president on assets, recovery from doing his job. He's working freely. All right. Emefiele, the former CBN governor, who has been in detention for long and, or whatever that's going up around him, it's not only him. Whatever happened around him happened with other people under Buhari's administration. Where are the others? There are many of those people in the presidency who were working with him to loot whatever was looted. Even the Ways and Means, over 24 trillion, naira Ways and Means imprinted. People looted that money. So where are those people who are part of this team? It's not only MFL that took the money. There are other people. Where are they? Why are they not being tried? Why are they not being prosecuted like they are prosecuting him? So you can't fight corruption when you are treating some people like king and you are messing up some people. The law should be equal to everybody. So when you go into the civil service, a lot goes on there. Why do you think every year we do budget, nothing to show? No improvement in the lives of the people, no critical development in infrastructure. Nigeria, since 1999 of democracy, have been generating less than 10,000 megawatts for a population of 250 million people. During Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, about $16 billion was alleged to be spent in that sector. There was much darkness. Power plants were just built in the bush. There was no gas supply. You are building power plant that will use turbine, but you are not building the gas infrastructure to supply the gas the turbines need. So what are we even talking about? Since then till now, the only time I know was during Jonathan's administration when Professor Bart Nnaji was the Minister of Power. He did a great job. We were about 7,500 megawatts generated, and we are distributing about 5,000 plus there. So he was working on expanding the transmission line so that we can evacuate all that was generated. Then one scandal came, that he did not resign in his former company, blah, 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 and Jonathan got rid of him. The moment he left, in fact, at that time I was in the meeting. He has a sustainable plan. I was there when we were preparing his performance contract, all right, for him to sign. We were interfacing with him. And he has a sustainable plan to take us from 7,500 to 10,000 megawatts at the end of that 2015, in anticipation that Jonathan will win and continue and all that. So what happened? They got rid of him. And instead of progressing to the 10,000, we went down to 5,000 and then down to 3,500. And that's why, as we speak, in 2024, the national grid collapsed for 12 times, just once a month. Basically, where are all those former governors that, Ribado being the pioneer chairman of EFCC, were prosecuting? Where are they today? How many of them are in prison? No. How many of them are their case is still in court today? Nobody is hearing anything about their cases. We have so many of them. We have the Dasuki Gate, all the people involved. We are not hearing anything again. The former governor of Sokoto State, the former governor of Gombe State, I mentioned the former, there's another other governor who was also a senator there, his case. So there are a lot of them. Is it Enugu State government? There are a lot of them, under corruption case. But now they are kings participating in election. Former governor of Zamfara, even the incumbent governor, they have been, calling him out on regular basis. So what are we talking about? People go into government, loot the government dry, and they disappear. And the people they govern are in poverty. And they continue to tax them even in their poverty. So Nigerians need to do better. We can't continue in this way. Our money is being filtered abroad. Many of them are buying houses here in America. Do you know what it takes to buy a house? They pay cash. They pay cash. And remember, any house you own, you pay taxes. All right? You pay taxes. Even if you have paid the house complete, you'll be paying taxes till that house is not your own anymore. So they are in Nigeria. They are paying taxes here on their houses, which they acquire with illicit resources. So can't they just do, work with the US government, track all these people doing all this? They are in power, they are in government. Most of their kids are abroad, schooling. Somebody that is earning 350,000 as a director, for example, in Nigeria, 3 of his kids are abroad, and he's paying $12,000 per semester for each of them, for example. How did he make it? How did he get it? How possible is that? Corruption. Because they are exploiting the system. We can't continue like this for a foreign country to be giving us conditions, telling us how to spend our own money. If Nigerian government didn't agree with that agreement, if they don't, partner with the US in that agreement, there's no way they will get that money back. They will seize it. And they can do nothing about it. So that's why the first thing government need to do is to nip this thing in the bud. Don't allow these funds to be stolen in the first place. All right? Automate the system. Automate the financial system. Everybody should be making use of their cards, your ATM cards, so that any money that is taken, we know where it is. Do transfer, online transfer, or your ATM card. Limited number of cash can be withdrawn. Nobody pays anybody salary in cash. They pay you through your account. Every payment you pay with online, so that they can be traced, they can be tracked. DSS can track them when there is need for that. And banks must be mandated to be able to provide suspicious activity report when somebody is withdrawing more money than he's supposed to based on his account history. That's why kidnappers are having a free day. They kidnap people, they collect ransom, and nobody tracks them. You have name tagged to people's phone number that is in their bank account. You have name tagged there. You have BVN. So why is it difficult for government to nip all these things in the bud? Automate your system, the government system, the payment system, both at the federal and state level. Automate it at the local level as well. Every day, these people collect allocation at the federal level, and nobody knows where they go to. That's how the Kogi State governor was alleged to receive allocation and send it to Bureau de Change and converted it to dollars and pay school fees for his children and left the state. I do hope that the National Assembly should amend necessary laws that will stimulate the fight against corruption. But there should be a law that mandates for accountability. I know we have Fiscal Responsibility Commission that is responsible for all this, the Auditor General, both at the federal and state level, but even at the local level. But the point is, how effective are they? How are they doing their job? The NNPCL has not been audited for years, and they are existing. So these are the issues that we need to tackle. We need to combat this corruption. People cannot just wake up, get appointment in government position, and loot the government dry. Now we have shifted from Abacha to Diezani Alison. So let's see what you have to say on this, and then we keep thinking out of the box on how government should be able to nip this looting of funds in the bud. That is where the main issue lies. So I'm going to leave it at that. Don't forget to like and share this video so that other people can also participate and share their opinion, and then subscribe to my channel. I need your subscription to grow this channel. Okay, encourage your guy, subscribe to my channel, and then I'm gonna see you in my next video. So hopefully God will keep us all alive to see the end of this 2025 as it has just begun. So I'm gonna see you in my next video. Put on your notifications so that when my next video drops, you will be among the first to be notified. So do have a wonderful day, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. See ya. I'm signing out.